Speaker tonight is Alissa VanDeman. Have Faith, Not Fear is her speech title. God's hands kept fear at bay, and faith is all that kept her safe. Let me get the rest of it. Here we go. Have you ever been faced with a challenge and the only reason you didn't meet it was because of fear? Having faith is important in life, whether it's faith in yourself, God, or a higher power. Alissa will take us on a journey this evening of a time when she put her life in God's hands and kept fear at bay, and faith is all that kept her safe. Of Alissa VanDeman. Have faith, not fear. Have faith, not fear. Alissa.
The year was 1999. Do you remember where you were? The month was October, and I was heading to visit my sister, Pella, in Warsaw. I was running late, and I didn't want to miss my train. I have this huge backpack on my back, and I'm running to the train platform, and the train is still there. Good. I stopped, took a breath, and started to walk as I saw the train leave the platform. No, I start running. I'm so close. I could touch the rail and jump on. And in that moment, fear captured me. I saw this image of me falling beneath the train and getting run over. And I let that train go as I slowed to a stop. I missed my train. I turned around and there's a group of nuns watching this whole scene in my ambitious journey to try to catch this train. And they just kind of laughed and giggled and walked on their way. I thought, what am I going to do now? This was a time before I had a cell phone. Pella did not have a cell phone. All I had was an address where she worked and her phone number at her apartment. So I go back, I exchange my ticket for one later in the evening. I would arrive like at almost midnight. And I waited at the train station for the next train. I was not going to miss it. Well, this was a point in my life where I let fear take over and keep me from awesomeness and keep me from my faith in myself that I could have made that little leap onto that train. Having faith in life is very important. Having faith in yourself or in God or a higher power, whatever you call him or her. Faith, the definition according to the dictionary, is the complete trust or confidence in someone or something. Madam Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests, I learned a lesson. Fear will not dominate my faith in myself or in my God. I prayed, God, help me get to Pella. Help me get there safe and sound. Show me how to do this. So after I got my ticket, I called her and it rang and rang and rang and rang. She did not have an answering machine. So I thought, okay, well, I'll call when I arrive in Warsaw. I hadn't been to Warsaw before, had not been to Poland, and she had warned me that it can be dangerous. The train station is a dangerous part of the city. So I get off the train station, I'm looking around. Of course, she's not there waiting for me like we had originally planned. And I think, okay, there's a police station. Should I go in there and talk to them? I don't know. I ended up buying a phone card and calling her on the phone. I had to wait in line. There was a long line for the payphones. And it made this weird sound. And I was like, I've never heard this sound before. So I hung up and I tried again. And it did that same weird sound again. So I hung up and I got to the end of the line and I thought, I'll try again. Maybe I did the wrong number. Maybe it's busy and someone's on the phone. Well, there was this man that was just he was about my same age, and was just kind of watching me. And I think it was probably pretty obvious that I was distraught in some way. And the whole time I am praying in my spirit, God, keep me safe, show me what to do. How do I get a hold of my sister to let her know I'm at the train station? I call again, and it's that same weird sound. And the gentleman said, he doesn't know English. He was speaking to me in Polish. I was trying to speak English and those little words I knew in Polish. And he had compassion on me. He dialed the number. He was like, I don't know. Nobody's answering. I was like, okay. And we communicated somehow that he would help me. And I was like, God, he was like, come on, let's go. And I was like, I don't know about this, but I kept feeling peace. So I was like, okay, I'm trusting you, God, that you brought this person here to help me. So I follow him, and he takes me onto the train to go to the address where my sister worked. We get there. It was a daycare, so it's obviously closed, but the owners lived there. So they came out and they're like, she doesn't work here anymore. I'm like, what? What do I do? So that, he's talking to them, and they speak German, and I was learning German as I was in Vienna, Austria for a semester. So they tell me she doesn't work here anymore. I have her address of where she used to live, but not where she lives now. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm going, okay, God, what do I do? What do I do? It's like probably midnight now. And this gentleman is like, you come with me, stay with me, and then we'll look again in the morning. And I was like, but there was that peace again. I'm like, okay, God, I have faith in you. You're going to keep me safe, and I'm going to find my sister. So we get back on a train and a bus back to his place, and he rents a room from this old woman. And let me tell you, it was a room. It was maybe 6 by 6. There was a twin bed, a chair, and maybe a dresser in there. And I was like so uncomfortable. He let me sleep on the bed. And anytime I would move or open my eyes, he was sitting there staring at me like this. I was like, geez, this is so weird. So in the morning, he was like, let's get breakfast, waffles. Or I'm like, no, I see a bank of payphones like outside the apartment complex. I'm like, I'm calling my sister. He's like, I'm getting breakfast. I'm like, okay, you do that. I'm going to go do this. And I call her again. And then again, there's that weird sound. It sounded like beep, 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 like it was busy or off, not in service anymore. And I just clutched that receiver, and I was like, oh God, now what am I gonna do? And all of a sudden I hear, hello? Pella? Sister? Oh my gosh, you answered the phone! I was saved. She was like, where are you? I'm like, I don't know. The street sign, I can't read it. It's in Polish, weird symbols and stuff. Well, thank God. The gentleman came over, they talked on the phone, made arrangements, and we met her at a bus stop. She gets off the bus. I cling to her. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for finding me. And as you know, I stayed safe and I was not harmed because I am here to speak to you today. So just as in conclusion, have faith in yourself, have faith in your God, and don't let fear keep you from your greatness. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, General VanDeman. Wow. This was a terrific first-rate effort at storytelling. My golly, you had us on the edge of our seats. It was very, very well organized. You told us the story of trying to find your sister Pella in, of all places, Warsaw, Poland in 1999. And you reminded us of what life was like in 1999 when there were no cell phones and everybody was using those crazy telephone cards to make long distance calls. I remember it so well, and they were awful. I could never figure out how to make them work for me when I was overseas either. So you hit on a subject that was dear to us. Have faith, not fear. And I love the fact that your background of that train was so absolutely perfect in terms of the speech that you were giving, because it reminded us of how it all started when you got to the station and the train was pulling out. Wow, wasn't that terrific? I also loved the fact that you had such dramatic and really wonderful facial expressions and gestures. How can we forget how that guy looked at you that period of time when you were trying to figure out, was he a friend or foe? And you realized and recognized the fact that he was a friend and that you could place your faith in his ability to help you. Wow, wasn't that terrific? The story went on and on. We thought after you got to Warsaw it was over. And it wasn't over, because you went on to tell us about the complications of trying to find your sister and going to the place where she worked, only to find that she wasn't working there anymore. Where did you turn from there? Your friend became the hero of your story, really. He was the hero when he was able to communicate in Polish, I suppose, to find the place where your sister was, to be able for you to communicate with her and reunite with her. Have faith, not fear. What a wonderful speech it was. I really don't know how you could make it much better than you did. I suppose you might have had a little, you might have been able to distinguish the beginning a little bit more rather than bleed into the story itself. You might have been able to tell us why you were there and so forth. Nevertheless, this was a first-rate effort at storytelling. I enjoyed it immensely. Well done, Alissa. I think your best speech in this club.